Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, let's hear it. Well, let's hear it once again for everybody seated up here on the stage, because these are the ones who made it all possible for us. So thank you all for turning out for this wonderful day of both celebration and gratitude. Celebration for a wonderful opportunity for our students to graduate in 4 years. Think of it, a bachelor's degree for under $25,000. This is what this state government and our representatives and leaders has created, this opportunity for all of our students here. So wonderful celebration of that. But also gratitude. Gratitude to Governor Dan McKee, to Lieutenant Governor and alum Sabina Matos, Secretary of State Greg Amore, Speaker of the House Joe Shikarchi, Senate Majority Leader Ryan Pearson, Representative Joe McNamara, Chair of the House Education Committee. Both Ryan and Joe were the architects of the bill that ultimately passed to get us this scholarship. Chairman of the Post-Secondary Council, David Caprio, and Commissioner Shannon Gilkey are here. And thanks to all the state leaders who helped make this happen. Also, I believe we have two of our RIC alumni in the General Assembly, Representative Karen Alzate and Representative Enrique Sanchez. We also have Post-Secondary Council member Thomas Izzo. Senator Izzo, thank you for coming. Greg Ebner is here, Assistant Commissioner of the Post-Secondary Council. And Joyce Stevos is here, Chair of the board of our Foundation Board. Thank you, Joyce. So, and I also want to thank all of the members of the Rhode Island College community, our students, our faculty, and all of our staff for being such strong advocates for this college in contacting your legislators and reaching out to people in the community of influence who could get this bill passed for us. So thank you all for your support. Give yourselves some applause. Well, this is such a great day of celebration and gratitude for having this scholarship at Rhode Island College. We know it's going to have such a positive impact on our students by reducing financial barriers to completing a degree, but we also know that by boosting our graduation rates, it helps the economic development and workforce development prospects for the state of Rhode Island. A more highly educated population improves the tax base, improves the quality of life for Rhode Islanders, reduces reliance on public assistance, and a whole host of other benefits that accrue to highly educated communities. These are the public benefits, and it's why the state invests in a public institution like Rhode Island College and in its students through a scholarship like this. The impact on students is really quite significant, and I thought I would read you some quotes from some of the recipients of the Hope Scholarship. We immediately reached out to eligible juniors and seniors to give them the good news this past summer, and this is what they say. Sabrina Alves said, "It has really changed my life this year. I've been struggling with money, and this scholarship has been a relief. I have had to balance working nearly 40 hours and being a full-time student, and it can get mentally challenging at times. This has allowed me to work less and really focus on school and graduating this year." Gianna Alessandra de Graca says, "It helped make college affordable and accessible to my family and me. And as a first-generation student, the Hope Scholarship is helping me achieve my dream of being the first in my family to graduate with a 4-year college degree." And Ashley Ortiz says this, "This incredible opportunity has had a profound impact on my life, and I want to convey my heartfelt thanks. As an African-American female navigating the path to higher education independently, I have encountered various challenges and financial obstacles. The Hope Scholarship has been a game changer for me. It has relieved a significant financial burden and allowed me to fully focus on my academic pursuits. And there's something in that last quote I want to point out and emphasize. Ashley called it a game changer, and it is just that. I hear game changer when I speak with students and their families. I hear it when I speak to our admissions officers who are recruiting students, and they know that this will help attract more students to Rhode Island College. And I hear it when I talk to state leaders about the impact not only on individual students, but on the welfare of the state as a whole. This Hope Scholarship is truly a game changer for Rhode Island College and for the state. And now I would like to introduce someone who's a testament to that. Titan's son, or Ty as he prefers, is a junior. He's majoring in computer information science and governor, minoring in cybersecurity. Ty is a student that simply loves learning. He has a 3.9 grade point average. Hope I'm not violating FERPA laws by, and what did you get the B in anyway? He's involved in many extracurricular activities, including being a tutor. He has a passion for learning, and he enjoys helping others achieve success. Ty, welcome to the microphone. Thanks. Oh, sorry.
Hi, everyone. My name is Titan's son. I'm a junior, a computer science major, and I have a minor in cybersecurity. I was also born and raised in Providence. Rhode Island College has been a part of my life even before I became an official student. I've always loved to learn, which led me to take an Introduction to Cybersecurity course at Rhode Island College during my junior year of high school. That course was taught by Professor Mellistar. Everything just snowballed from there. In my freshman year at Rhode Island College, I was asked to be a teaching assistant for Rhode Island College's Gen Cyber Camp, also led by Professor Mellistar. And I've been doing that every year since. I am also a computer science tutor. I am president of the Gamer Club, and I'm a member of the InfoSec Club, a cybersecurity club on campus. So to find out that my tuition this year is fully paid for through the Hope Scholarship has been a game changer. The financial burden is off my parents. It's undeniable that education and finances are linked. In other words, it's hard to have one without the other. So you can imagine how happy my parents were to find out the good news. They know I've always loved learning, and they're really glad I'm being rewarded for it. I think it's great that students are getting the financial help that they need. It may seem too good to be true, but it's absolutely real, and it's a game changer. I've given a lot to Rhode Island College, but it has also given a lot to me. Speaking of giving a lot to Rhode Island College, I want to bring up our next speaker, whose leadership and vision on the Hope Scholarship have helped to get us here today. Governor Daniel McKee.
I'm wearing the tie today with a great deal of pride, and it's great to be here. And today is all about hope. Thank you, Ty, for your comments. Give Ty one more round of applause. I know that he's the example that we all work and strive for, to make sure that each and every person in the state of Rhode Island has an opportunity to develop their skills and talents to the highest potential, and part of that is higher education. I can't think of an initiative that has been more of a team effort, and the true sense of a team effort with the Speaker and the Senate President, with their leadership that is here today. They are, they need to pass things that are important to the state of Rhode Island, but I can tell you that, I'll speak out of school, but we're definitely aligned on how important education is into the state of Rhode Island. And when we set goals for our state to meet or achieve Massachusetts levels by 2030, raise incomes, raise personal wealth, and raise health and fitness levels, this is really important. What's happening here today, that's being announced today, that'll get us there. So Speaker and Senate President, of course, Gregor Maury, our Lieutenant Governor, Ryan Pearson, my neighbor up in Cumberland, and as well as Representative Joe McNamara. Thank you so much, and Shannon Gilkey as well. For a while, and I think this is changing with the leadership here that's getting in place as I'm meeting more and more people that are in the leadership positions, whether it's in the students or the administration of Rhode Island College. It's always been that, consider this best kept secret, Rhode Island College. Well, I'm here to tell you that with the plans that we have for this school and the future of this college, those days of being a secret are over. People are going to know Rhode Island College is a place to go to get an education. So think about over the last 2 years plus, not many universities could say they had the First Lady of the United States visit their campus. And when Dr. Biden was coming to our state, we could have selected any setting anywhere in the state of Rhode Island, but we picked right here at Rhode Island College. And as you're working on the traditional and the really strong curriculum pieces are here, but we're adding to that. How many universities would have a congressman leading a cybersecurity school that is a national and international leader in cybersecurity? Not many. And Rhode Island College has that right here on campus now. And we're very optimistic about that security school. Looking for 1,000 people to be in that school in 5 years, graduating 250 people a year. And that's going to be tremendous to our economy, but to the individuals who are going to get that education. They're going to really benefit from that. And it doesn't happen without a strong leadership and team effort. And how many of those colleges that are out there can say that they are providing a full scholarship for juniors and seniors to ensure that their graduate and start off professional lives with less debt? That's a good thing. Thank you. These are all things that Rhode Island students and Rhode Islanders across the state can be proud of. Now, why is the Hope Scholarship so important? It's because we know that students who graduate with 4-year degrees will have a higher earning potential and help them fill important professional positions within our economy. It's going to strengthen families, it's going to strengthen communities, and it's going to strengthen the state of Rhode Island. The Hope Scholarship is a critical tool to ensure affordability is not a reason our students don't finish their 4 years degrees. Put simply, the Hope Scholarship is a win for students. All the students that are here today and those people who are guiding them in their lives right now, it's a win for families in all of Rhode Island. And I'm so proud to play a role with our partners here in government and our higher ed with Shannon Gilkey and along with Jack Warner, our current president of this school. I'm proud to be here to help make that all a reality. I'm really looking forward for the years to come in terms of what this is going to actually mean to the state of Rhode Island. I thank all the students that are here today. Pass the word to your friends. Pass the word that this is a place to go. So congratulations to Rhode Island College, and I'll be around. Our Lieutenant Governor Sabina Matos, please come up. A Rhode Island College graduate right here, front and center.
Good afternoon. I'm so glad to be able to be back here at Rhode Island College, a place that gave me so much, to be able to celebrate with all of you this important milestone in which we're able to make the college even more affordable for Rhode Islanders and for anyone that wants to come from out of state, because we're always trying to get people to stay here in Rhode Island. That's part of the plan, right, Governor? President Warner, thank you so much for all your hard work to make sure that we were able to get to this point. I want to thank the leadership of Governor McKee. We have been advocating for RIC, and the governor has been a big supporter. And he has a partnership at the State House together with the Speaker of the House, Joe Shikashi, and the President of the Senate, Ruggiero. And they have been working every day. They get together frequently just to figure out how they can deliver for the people of Rhode Island and making sure that they put the people of Rhode Island first. So I want to acknowledge the leadership in our state of the governor, the Speaker, the Senate President, who's represented here by Senator Pearson. Thank you so much for the work that you do. As a proud alumni of Rhode Island College, I'm glad to be back here with the anchor men and anchor women here in Rhode Island College. This was an affordable place for me to get an education. Many of you have heard my story. I came here not speaking the language. When I came to Rhode Island College, I was taking ESL classes still. So it took me 5 years to graduate because I was taking ESL classes first. But this was a welcoming community. I just ran into one of my classmates, Alvaro. By the way, Alvaro just gave me a stress ball. So he figures that I'm gonna need this, so thank you so much. So this is the relationships that we built here in Rhode Island College, and all of you that are attending Rhode Island College are gonna be building that type of connections and relationship. This is a place that is a family. It's like a family for all of us. And I'm so glad that the students that are gonna be attending are gonna be able to finish college with basically, hopefully, no student loan debt, because that's stopping our young people from starting a family, buying a home. And many of them are not even able to rent an apartment because when they do a credit check, their credit has been damaged because of student loans. So has a big impact. So as an alumni of Rhode Island College, I'm here to say thank you for the work that you do. Thank you for having the cyber security program here at Rhode Island College, thanks to the support of the General Assembly and the governor. Thank you for being a Hispanic serving institution that recognizes the community that is part of the state of Rhode Island and everything that we contribute, especially when we're celebrating right now Hispanic Heritage Month, so let's celebrate that also. And on behalf of the state of Rhode Island, on behalf of myself and my family, I want to say thanks to the college for everything that they have given me and the opportunity that they have given me to be able to give back to the state of Rhode Island. With that, it's truly an honor, a pleasure for me to introduce Secretary Amore, who is always has a lot of knowledge about the history of the college and the history of Rhode Island, because he was a history teacher. So, Secretary, thank you so much.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. It's an honor to be here with my colleagues in government. This is a fantastic day. I am not a Rhode Island College graduate, but Rhode Island College is very close to my heart. As a student, so many of my teachers in elementary school and high school were Rhode Island College graduates. When I became a history teacher at East Providence High School, so many of my colleagues were Rhode Island College graduates. And so many of my students are Rhode Island College graduates and are here at Rhode Island College now. Do we have any townies out here? Yeah, we have some townies here. Excellent. Townie pride. So I'm a history teacher, so I'm going to give you a little history of this legislation. Where are the political science majors and the history majors? All right, so legislation is sausage making. It's ugly. It doesn't look good. But at the end, it tastes pretty good if it's done right. So this legislation, which is a game changer, is so significant because Chairman McNamara and I studied what would happen to Rhode Island College when we passed the Promise Scholarship for CCRI. And we knew that it would have an adverse effect on Rhode Island College. And so we worked hard, and Senator Pearson and I wrote this legislation. And this legislation was a long time coming. And I'm staring right at Karen Alzate, Representative Karen Alzate, who's a graduate of Rhode Island College, who fought and fought and fought for this legislation because it was not easy. It was not easy. So to create affordability and accessibility and to build a professional workforce and to take the burden off of our families and our students, this crowd of people worked hard together to make sure this got done. So while Senator Pearson and I wrote the bill didn't get passed until after I left the General Assembly. And that's significant because there was a change in leadership in the House of Representatives, and Joe Shekarchi became Speaker of the House. And it opened up the pathway to this legislation. We would not be sitting here today without Governor McKee's support, without the Senate President's support, without the sponsor, Chairman McNamara, the original sponsors, Senator Pearson and myself. But Joe Shekarchi, as Speaker of the House, made this move when it was still messy sausage. It is now a fantastic piece of legislation that will benefit so many Rhode Islanders and their families, and we hope that is for years and years and years to come. So it is my honor to introduce the Speaker of the House, Joe Shekarchi.
Thank you, Secretary, for the very kind words. Good afternoon. What a beautiful day. So often we have these events, and the governor, his staff is always organizing them, and sometimes we have great venues, but sometimes we have bad weather. So today we have a great venue and good weather. So thank you, Governor, and to your staff. I have some prepared remarks, but before I say them, I really want to thank Secretary Amore for what he said. What he didn't say was, while he was in the General Assembly, in his last year before he became Secretary of State, there was a special allocation for Rhode Island College that he championed. It was on our Finance Committee. He said, Speaker, we got to do something for RIC. We got to find some money. And of course, Bill Walsh, who's the lobbyist for Rhode Island College, was always there, always asking, always pressing for the issue, and Jack Warner, who does an outstanding job. And what I say is, when I address these groups, much has been given to Rhode Island College in the last 2 years, and much is expected back. And we're expecting good results. I know President Warner has done a phenomenal job in stabilizing the finances here. And when we have to make allocations in the budget, there are all good causes. Nobody comes up to the General Assembly, the House Finance Committee, the Speaker's office and says, help me fund this, and it's a bad. They're all good causes. We have to prioritize. We have to make decisions. And it's not the ones that we like the most or the ones that really need it the most. When we're looking at this, we want to know where we can do the most good. And we can do the most good right here at Rhode Island College with the Hope Scholarship. So much has been given and much is expected. There's an advocate. You have great representation. I mentioned Bill Walsh, but nobody in the House of Representatives fights harder and more effectively for Rhode Island College than your own alumni, Karen Alzate. Karen is a chairwoman on my leadership team. We have leadership meetings. She presses the issue for payday lending. She presses the issue for equitable taxes, but she presses the hardest for Rhode Island College. So thank you, Karen, for everything you do. And I don't know if he's here. We have another RIC alumni, Representative Enrique Sanchez as well. So there you are. There you are. Thank you very much for what he's a freshman, but he's getting up to speed very fast. So we look forward to him. I want to acknowledge my partners in government, Governor McKee, Lieutenant Governor Matos, Secretary of State, Amore, of course, Chairman McNamara, the long-serving, very effective chairman of the House Education Committee and the sponsor of this bill, the majority leader of the Senate, another dear friend, and the Senate sponsor, Ryan Pearson, Dr. Gilkey. I talked about President Warner, and of course, Ty's son as well. Congratulations. You're a great example of the opportunities that this program offers for the next generation of Rhode Islanders. For many people, the dream of a college education is out of reach. This program alleviates one of the biggest obstacles to a four-year degree, the cost. The Hope Scholarship will enable individuals to achieve the goals of furthering their education, building their skill set so that when they enter the workforce, they're better prepared. It's helping people create a better future for themselves, their families, and our state. Statistics have shown that more than 66% of today's jobs require more than a high school education. However, only 41% of young adults have an education beyond high school. Affordability and access challenges such as tuition costs have created barriers to college education. Those barriers disproportionately disproportionately, impact people of color. This program will ensure that students who might not otherwise have been able to pursue a 4-year degree can now do so. And the Hope Scholarship Program is also helping to enhance our future workforce. Yes, there's an economic development aspect of this program that is critical when we were, as Greg said, making the sausage. The Hope Scholarship Program is helping to enhance workers in our workforce so that when companies look to relocate in Rhode Island, we have an educated, trained workforce ready for them. I love, personally, that one of the criteria for participants is they must commit to stay in Rhode Island. Because we need talent, we need our bright, hardworking students to stay in Rhode Island. And having a highly skilled workforce makes Rhode Island more attractive. The Hope Scholarship Program gives more Rhode Islanders opportunities for economic mobility, better job opportunities, and in turn, it will strengthen our economy. It's a win all around. Before I conclude my remarks, I want to say one thing to all of you, all of the students who are participating here today, all the students who may or may not have the benefit of a Hope Scholarship. I challenge you all to be involved. Be involved in government. Yes, your state government. Be involved in the electoral process. Be involved in the legislative process. You have 2 alumni who are in the General Assembly, at least in the House. I don't know if there's any in the Senate. I'll defer to my good friend, Mr. Brian Pearson. But what I will tell you is there's a future for you at the State House. This is your state. Use your skills, use your talent, and I hope to see some of you in the General Assembly in the years to come. And with that, I'd like to introduce my dear friend and colleague, the Senate Majority Leader, the Senate sponsor of the legislation that enabled this program to become a reality, my friend, Senate Majority Leader Ryan Pearson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, everyone, for being here today. The venue is great, but it's even better to see so many Rhode Island College students and faculty members here today. It was actually a surprise to me coming in, so President Warner and everyone here at RIC, thanks for really making this a celebration. And, you know, celebrating this is something that I think Secretary Maury really hit on well, in that Rhode Island is founded on hope. And one of the things that we had to have as we went through this sausage-making progress was a lot of hope as we went through. And one of the things we kept saying is there hope for hope this year? And finally, we found hope. And I just want to say how important this is for 2 reasons. It's important for every single student to know that if you stick with it and you stay on your school, the state will come in and assist you in the last 2 years of your time here at RIC and make sure you get across that finish line. But the other thing, I'll do it blind for the rest of the way. The other thing that it will very importantly do is make sure, thank you, Lieutenant Governor. The other thing that it'll make sure that it does is this is such an engine for the state. Every single one of you that is graduating, we have a job for you here in Rhode Island. And by the way, we have a lot of jobs for you in state government. It's jobs that need the skills that you're going to learn here at Rhode Island College. And so this is an investment in you, but also an investment in our state. And so I can't do more than double down on the message that stick with it. And if anything, our first choice was love to have you an employee of state government, but if not, we'd love to have you employed here in Rhode Island when you leave school. Going to the sausage making, I think the only positive of COVID, for some of you who may know, the Rhode Island Senate was actually headquartered here on the campus during COVID. We were using the auditorium as our floor to be able to pass legislation and debate legislation. Love Rhode Island College. Wasn't completely conducive to legislating, but we made it work. But perhaps one of the only things that it really did is it made the entire Senate a trapped petri dish for lobbying by half of Rhode Island College President Sanchez and Billy Walsh and many students throughout the time that we were here. And it really built something within the Senate that I can tell you there are so many advocates and members of the Senate for Rhode Island College. And one from the time here, some of them alumni, and some of them just realized what some of the things that I mentioned before. So, you know, really it took the efforts and the advocacy for many years to build the momentum that led to this. And I would be remiss to then say, you know, after Governor McKee became governor, he brought an interest to Rhode Island College. Cannot thank him enough for putting this in as a budget amendment this year, and also for the speaker. Secretary Morey mentioned to start Speaker Shikarchi became an open ear for what we could do at Rhode Island College, and has been a consistent partner with the Senate as we look to invest more and more here at Rhode Island College. So it really takes a team effort. Rhode Island College is something that the entire team not only was willing to make the investment, but make a big investment, be here today to celebrate it. And we just need you to finish the other side of the bargain. Finish those studies, stay here in Rhode Island, work here in Rhode Island, come work for us for state government. We're very, very excited to have you and happy to share this investment in your future. So thank you very much. And I want to turn it over to my sponsor in the House, Chairman McNamara, longtime friend and education chair.
Thank you, Leader Pearson. Ladies and gentlemen, for the past 10 years, I've visited 25 college campuses. And as I walked from the back of this campus, speaking with you, I can tell you that Rhode Island College not only has the best dressed students, it has the best looking students. Give yourselves a round of applause. Representative Alzate and Representative Sanchez said, Representative McNamara, it is true. It is true. They've said that many times. Ladies and gentlemen, our state motto is hope. The American dream is built on hope. This scholarship will give hope to all of our students at Rhode Island College to graduate with little or no debt. It will give hope to Rhode Island College to fulfill its mission in educating Rhode Islanders for the 21st century. And it will give hope to our state's economy, where 7 out of 10 jobs will require a post-secondary degree. And most importantly, it will provide hope for the citizens of Rhode Island who desperately need the professions that you are going into here. We need more teachers, more nurses, and more social workers if we're ever going to solve the homeless crisis. And you are the future of our state. Thank you very much, and continue the work. Keep your nose to the grindstone. Graduate on time. Best wishes and success in the future. It's my pleasure to introduce Mr. President for the signing of the bill, Jack Warner.
Can you imagine any more enthusiasm or excitement or commitment on the part of our state leaders than what you have just heard from all of these great leaders for us? Please give them another round of applause. No. Before we conclude, I want to acknowledge that the education that takes place here at Rhode Island College happens on Narragansett land. We honor the history and ancestry of the First Nations and indigenous peoples in our state and their contributions to our communities. A special thanks also goes to Professor Joe Frawley and the RIC Trumpet Ensemble for playing for us. I really wasn't sure that he needed to be called out because he's been tooting his own horn. I know. Sorry about that. I apologize. Now, after the signing, I invite you to enjoy some local food courtesy of Donovan Dining, including soggy dogs, Nettie kettle corn, Warwick ice cream, and Yacht Club soda. But before we get to that, we have a pen over here, Governor. A pen for you to sign. So come on over and we'll do the official signing of the bill.
That's great, Mr. President.
Any questions on this event today?
Yeah, I got a couple. So, Governor, just a kind of a reaction. How does it feel to now have the Hope Scholarship in effect?
How does it feel to have it in effect?
Yep.
I think it feels great. How's it feel with you? Because I think you're one of the biggest advocates that I know, and I kept on pressing the issue right, here. So, no, I think that we are really, as I said in my comments, raising academic outcomes in the state of Rhode Island is one of our major goals. And I keep on saying, and what you could do is help advocate for attendance in our schools right now. Attendance is like the key issue that's going to raise math and reading levels, which will help prepare our young people to be students here at Rhode Island College. Because I think that's what you've been advocating for, is a future for the school, but not only the students that are here currently, but also future students that are going to be able to take advantage of the Hope Scholarship.
Do you consider this a game changer for both RIC and the state?
I think it is. I think it's just another extension of our the three goals that we've set. One is raising academic outcomes, raising attendance in our schools, and raising FAFSA applications to make sure that we're taking advantage of all the financial opportunities that are there for young people to achieve their degrees. And also, we're also looking at people who are looking for second careers. We're also looking to, really talk about supporting mid-career strategies, and that's what Shannon Gilkey is really working on. So it's an all-in effort. No one thing makes it work. But this is a very important step.
And whenever I've had conversations with folks about this, specifically people who are not really too keen on it, one thing they point out, and I want to get your reaction on it, is they say how it's not income specific, where, say, for example, someone is a student whose family has money, they can get this just as much as someone who would need the aid more. Do you have any reaction to those kind of concerns?
Well, I think that as long as everybody that wants to further their degree here at Rhode Island College, we've made that possible. And then there's benefit for the state of Rhode Island to have students graduate from Rhode Island College. We know that 73% of our students that graduate here stay here, and they earn a living and they raise families here. So this is an investment in the state of Rhode Island. So I'm pretty comfortable where we are right now. If anybody was being denied the opportunity, then I think we'd have to take another look at it. But right now, we want students to come here to Rhode Island College.
Going off of that, how will that just overall help the economy in Rhode Island?
So we know that one is that when we're doing this Learn 365 RI, which is very much connected here because we're connecting in with higher ed, with in particular Shannon Gilkey, who is our Commissioner of Higher Ed, we know that if we're able to meet, for instance, on the grade levels, Massachusetts levels by 2030, that it will increase the earning power of the people in the state of Rhode Island by over $2 billion. So there's the economic connection in terms of making sure we're working really hard to make good things happen in our K through 12. But also we know, as was mentioned multiple times, including I think Chairman McNamara, who mentioned that 73% are in that range of jobs that people are going to need they're going to need a past high school degree. So that's why we're working on upscaling, and thanks to the General Assembly, they passed multiple things that we recommended. One was a program that's going to be able to upgrade certificate degrees, 2-year degrees and 4-year degrees with funding that we have put in place that is going to be able to do that. So this is an all-in effort, as I just mentioned. It's not any one thing, but as we continue to improve education, we know that the economic opportunities for the families are going to be realized. And I will also say that it's a long way to answer the question, but this is a very complicated issue, that our next effort after the education piece is going to be, and we're in the early stages, and I expect that my State of the State address this year will be announcing that we'll have an all-in effort, very well strategized, to raise incomes and personal wealth for the people who live in the state of Rhode Island.
Governor,
so this
looking
is part
ahead,
of that.
do you have any desire to, say, expand the Rhode Island Promise to RIC?
No, we're going to take one step at a time, and we're comfortable that we have funding in place to go for a few years, and I'm working with Rhode Island College leadership, including the president, about how we make sure that Rhode Island College and the alumni of Rhode Island College actually, help maintain this, this Hope Scholarship indefinitely.
Do you personally support the idea, though, of expanding the Rhode Island Promise to RIC? That's my last one.
No, at this point in time, I think we're going to see how all this works and see how it really folds in, and like I said, one of the things I will reinforce is that I think that people who are benefiting from the Hope, people who have gone through the school, We also know that when we renew the after the initial funding, there's going to be a need to go into the budget for a sustainable, and I'm going to support that. But also we need to have Rhode Island College participate in the Hope Scholarship as well. So I think it's going to be a great partnership, and we'll have time to put that together.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, thank you. Yep.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you, Governor. So, Lieutenant Governor, as a proud RIC alum yourself, how do you feel that the Hope Scholarship is now in effect?
Oh, this is a great day for the people of Rhode Island, and especially for Rhode Island College. We have been always looking for ways how we could support the college. I came to Rhode Island College as a new immigrant to the state of Rhode Island, to the country. And Rhode Island College was home for me. This is where I came to take English classes. I was able to graduate with a degree in communications, and that changed my life. So we're going to provide the opportunity to families to be able to have the same opportunity and to change their lives, to increase their income, as the governor was saying, which is one of the priorities that we have, and to make sure that they're able to afford an education and they can graduate from college without having debt. That's huge.
And kind of personalizing this to your story, being a RIC alumna, and I'm assuming first-gen college student at that.
Yes.
So how would something like this have helped you when you were a student?
Oh, well, I had a student loans that I ended up paying probably, I think my last payment was probably 2001 probably, 2021. So about 20 years after I graduate. So that tells you probably I would have been able to graduate without student loans. So. And that's what the opportunity that I hope others can have, to graduate from college without no student debt, or maybe almost none. So they're able to start building their life, buying a home, starting a family. Sometimes students are putting that off, families are putting that off because they are too caught up on paying for debt from student loans debt. So.
That's all I had. Lieutenant Governor, thank you for your time. Ty, how do you feel being a recipient of the Hope Scholarship?
I feel fantastic. As I said before in my speech, it's just the financial burden is off my family for the last few years of my education, which I can't stress enough. It's just so important, these days with like how expensive everything is.
So, would you say this is a game changer for someone like yourself in terms of finances for college?
Absolutely, right? I mean, being able to save upwards of like $20,000 or more, just off of those, like the guaranteed last 2 years of my education being supported by the state. It's fantastic, right? Because I can take that $20,000 that I would have paid, and I can save it into something, right? Perhaps after I graduate college, I can put it into a down payment on like a house, or maybe even like a car.
And speaking to all those on the RIC community, what was your feeling like going into that? Were you nervous, confident?
So I was definitely nervous. I didn't expect the turnout to be so fantastic, but it was. But then I kind of realized pretty quickly that everyone was there just to support this signing, and it was beautiful to see.
Anything else you want to add regarding the Hope Scholarship or your experience with it so far, I guess?
I would say that overall, I just feel really rewarded, right, for having a scholarship. It feels fantastic to be recognized for like my participation on campus, and also my high academic standing. Thank you.
That's all I got. Thank you, Ty. Rep. McNamara, you drafted this bill. How do you feel that it not only got to the finish line, but had quite the fanfare today?
Absolutely. It's a celebration not only for Rhode Island College, but for our state. I believe that all ships rise with the tide. And these cohorts of college graduates and professions that our state desperately needs to succeed are going to make a huge difference in the lives of all Rhode Islanders. So I'm obviously a big supporter of the bill and Rhode Island College students and what they will accomplish in their lives.
And how do you foresee this benefiting the state? I know you kind of touched upon it a bit, but like going into the specifics.
Well, I think being very specific, we all know that if you ask people in Rhode Island, the unhoused or homeless situation is huge. I've been involved in, going to encampments, helping to clean them out. And the one thing that I've noticed, we had one that was along the Patuxent River behind Shores Market. Probably it was an encampment that held 2 people, 500 syringes, dumped neatly on the ground. Our social workers are going to help get us out of the homeless situation that they're in. They know how to help people that are addicted. They know how to assist people that are dealing with mental health issues, and they know how to get people into the resources that they need. So we can put all the money in the world we want into building housing, but we need individuals like Rhode Island College social workers to intervene to get folks the help that they need. That's just one small way. The nurses, as I've said to my elderly people that call me and said, we don't want our tuition used to pay free tuition. And I asked them, I said, have you been to the hospital where they take you up to the room and they give you this tube with a button on it? Could you tell me what's supposed to happen when you press that button? And they said, well, a nurse will come. I said, you know what's going to happen when you press that button if we don't get this program in place? They said, no, what? Nothing. They said, never mind, I support the program. So it's that type of impact. These aren't professions that are far-flung. Teachers, nurses, and social workers are on the front line of improving the culture, civility in our state, and making our state much better. So very, very specific, and that's one of the reasons I support this bill so much.
Thank you for going in great detail for that. I just have one more, and then that's all I have for questions for the Hope Scholarship. So whenever I talk to folks about this, and when I personally show my enthusiasm, some who are a little bit skeptical will say, oh, well, someone who comes from money can also get the scholarship, and as opposed to just only people who need it. So what would your response be to those kind of concerns?
My response would be, look at the demographics of students that attend Rhode Island College. 80% of them work part-time jobs. What do they work those part-time jobs for? For beer drinking money on the weekend? No. They work part-time jobs to feed their families, to buy food and put food on the table, and to pay their rent. And RIC is not full of sons and daughters of millionaires, period. The data doesn't support it.
That's all I had. Rep, thank you so much for your time. Dr. Warner, how do you feel about just what happened today in terms of the fanfare of the Hope Scholarship becoming a reality?
What's not to like about this? If you saw the strong support of our state leaders, and we had them all here, you realize what a feat that is to get them all on the same dais at the same time, all speaking so glowingly about Rhode Island College, about this opportunity for the students and for the state. Game changer. Two key words.
How do you foresee this benefiting RIC?
It should benefit us in the form of better enrollment. I think it's an attraction for students to come here. When you think of a bachelor's degree for under $25,000, who can say that? Who offers that? And that's if you're paying for it yourself. If you have other forms of scholarship, you might be able to get the whole 4 years for free or for a very minimal cost and graduate without debt. So you can buy a home, buy a car, go to graduate school even. All of those are outcomes that will be supported by all this. So we're beyond excited. And did you see the turnout today?
Yeah, it was quite the turnout. And my final question, and I'll let you go. Looking ahead, do you have any future initiatives that you plan to bring to the General Assembly related to RIC?
Well, this is a pilot program, so we want to see it permanent, which means we've got to perform, make sure that our students who receive the scholarship are successful, that we improve our graduation rates as a result. So we're going to be working hard on that. And of course, we're after continued increases in state support so that we can continue to be affordable for students.
That's all I had. Dr. Warner, thank you for your time.